So the bulk of my work with people is in helping them to learn to listen to their bodies, reduce symptoms, and feel better overall. That being said, when people have pain in their hands, wrists, elbows, shoulders, and so on that are preventing them from doing yoga poses, sometimes they want to know how to work up to doing those poses that are uncomfortable for them or where they just don't have the strength to do them well. And so the funny thing about yoga practice is that, if you were to go to the gym and you were to try to lift a weight that was too heavy for you and you weren't able to lift it, you would find a smaller weight. You wouldn't keep trying to lift that weight that's too heavy. However, when we can't lift body weight in yoga class, often what happens is we just keep trying the same thing over and over and over and over again. And that's not a very good way to get stronger and to get better at the movement. So we're going to look at plank pose as an example, but there are lots of ways that we can modify and work towards some of the other poses where we weight bear on the hands. This is building on my video from last week. So if you didn't watch that, I'll put a link in the notes for you as well. But do go back and watch that video about the structure of the hand, because that is really going to be helpful as you start to move forward. So we'll start with just bringing the hands to a wall. So here we don't have weight on the hands. We're vertical in gravity. I'm going to bring the hands onto the wall and just see how this feels, right? Seeing if you can bring the whole outer edge, roots of the fingers, outer edges of the palm to the wall. And maybe get that little bit of squeezing in between the root of the pinky finger, root of the index finger, and the root of the thumb. Maybe pressing the fingertips into the wall a little bit, like we discussed in the last video. And just seeing if you're able to maintain the structure of the hand here, right? From here, you could add in, a little bit of shoulder movement here. This is not exactly how we would lower down into Chaturanga Dandasana in yoga. However, it'll give you a sense of how your movement up the chain through your shoulder and your elbow is going to affect the contact and the structure and the function of your hands, right? You can try different heights, different widths, different rotations, and just kind of learn about what's going on in your body. From here, you can start to step the feet out a little bit more and add a little bit of weight into your palms. I'm still pretty vertical, but I'm starting to have a little bit of a lean here. And I'm just going to respect what my wrists have to tell me about how high my hands are. And just kind of play with, now I have some weight in the hands. How does that feel? Sometimes it's easier to maintain the lift through the palm when you have a little bit of weight. So this can be a really good way to start to play with this structure. Notice what your elbows want to do, notice what your shoulders want to do, and just kind of get comfortable here. And then you can start to move things down from vertical closer and closer to horizontal. I don't have an ideal surface in this space. I might go to my kitchen counter next, but I don't want to take y'all into my kitchen. So I'm just going to use this chair as an example here, but I wouldn't go this low necessarily from the wall. This chair is also really not ideal because it's narrow for my shoulders and the seat is curved. But hopefully it'll give you some idea. I can bring my hands down onto this chair. I can step my feet back and I can be in something of a plank pose here. And then now I'm starting to work on all the other things that are happening in my body in a plank pose while maintaining my contact between my hands and the surface. Depending on the surfaces you have, you may not always be able to use your hands the way you'd use them on the floor on some surfaces. Doesn't mean it's not useful. You can bring your hands onto the back of the couch, kind of claw the back of the couch, and you're still going to be building some of the full body strength that you need for a plank pose, just not so much going to be able to work on the hands. And you generally take your time, little by little, work your way down, right? Feeling some measure of ease at each level before you take it down closer to the floor. This is for plank pose. We can do similar kinds of things with other poses. Keeping in mind that what happens in the rest of the body is going to be different. I would love to hear how this goes for you. Please comment and let me know. I hope you have fun exploring it.